So tell us about closing gifts.
Closing gifts. Well, I'll tell you what. How many of you remember last year? How many of you were here last year? All right.
Nice
I
number.
briefly mentioned one little thing called housewarming parties. How many of you remember housewarming parties? Right. And by the way, as Todd and my gift to you is that if you were not here last year or you forgot to download it, if you go to 7lbook.com, that's the number 7, letter L, book.com/housewarming party, you can download my entire system, my team's entire system for the housewarming parties. So we kept having these housewarming parties, and we blew up. I went from $0 in my pocket to netting $1 million in my 3rd year of real estate, and housewarming parties were a very big part of that. We, like a lot of you, wanted to do more, wanted to do better. So what we did is we started buying all of our clients a Mercedes for the housewarming parties. Okay, just kidding. It was actually a Rolex. Okay, I'm just kidding. But what we found is that 100% of the homes that we sold had a kitchen. I mean, that is rocket science stuff right there. How many of you believe that every home that has a kitchen, right? Okay, so every home has a kitchen. So what we decided is, how can we give something that has that Mercedes and Rolex feel and yet also be reasonable in cost? So what we started doing is we started giving a spatula spreader through Cutco. And Cutco is truly the Mercedes or Rolex of knives. And what's interesting is the housewarming parties were getting a lot of pub, and a lot of people introduce us as, well, he's the agent who does all the housewarming parties. But you know what? The housewarming party happens, what's after that? So we started giving spatula spreaders with our logos on it. And guess what? In the kitchen, there is the spatula spreader when we go over and visit. And here's the beautiful thing about this. First of all, it's 100% tax deductible. Now check with your CPA. My disclaimer is I'm not one. But it's 100% if you put your logo on it as a promotional item. So that's one key. The second thing is Cutco will go in to every one of your clients' homes every year to sharpen those knives free of cost as a service from you. That is a powerful, powerful added value.
And if your knives are damaged, as was my case a year ago, they replaced 3 of them for free.
Nothing. Yeah, 100% guaranteed, lifetime warranty. I'm sold on Cutco.
And the spreader is used at least once a day, probably twice a day, family of 4, 4 times a day. It's pretty cool, right?
Totally. The spreader is it's like a magic tool. It really is, because people will use it for everything from dips to carrots to whatever it may be. So.
Let's run this promo, right?
Sounds good.
Let's go.
Sounds good.